gonna press the button, like just go for it. But
yeah,
that's not fair to you guys.
I mean, that's how a lot of podcasts start.
No, a lot of podcasts start off with their hold screen, which I do have, but I never use it for some reason.
No.
All right, we are live. Welcome, everybody. We are going here. Azza's in the house. What's up? Keen Life, Roland RC. Logan, you're in the chat. Go figure. Abraham.
Chatting.
AGR77, what's up? Yeah, it is Thursday night, 7:01. I've been back in Oregon for a little bit now.
A few hours.
Oh no, I got back last night, so I've been recovering from a long drive yesterday. About 12 hours of driving straight with food breaks. But yeah, welcome to the RC Drift Show thing that we do. And we're just going to go hit it right off the bat. We're going to start off with calendar events. Apparently Tandem Tuesday is still a thing, and it is getting more popular by the week. They had, sounds like they had a pretty big turnout, right, Logan? DJ?
Pretty big for Tandem Tuesday standards, yeah.
Right on. And then as far as competition STC dates go, this Sunday is going to be the next round. I don't remember if it's round 4 or 5. Is it 4? I think it's 4. August 11th. Round 5.
Yeah, so we're going into round 5.
Okay, round 5. August 11th. This is this Sunday. DS LF3 Racing Competition spec tires. Keep those in your bag and brand new, please. Because we need our floor to last the times. September 8th is the finals. Skipping over to August 23rd to the 25th is Drift to Death. Logan, do we have any new updates on that?
Not really. Most of the stuff's been said. We got a couple more guest drivers and sponsors to announce. We're finalizing what's going to happen with entries, and as far as how you get entered into the giveaway and how much the tickets are going to be. We'll probably do something like a full event pass will be a better deal than if you can only make it 2 days. You know what I mean? Like same as any other event would do. Probably normal track fees if you're not doing all 3 days, but we'll try to save some money if you're going to be there for a couple days at least. Normal shit.
Sponsors. Yeah. Who are the sponsors?
So yeah, title sponsor, Team Associated. It's their event. And then we got One Up Racing, Beast Mode, Liquid Death is a newer one that came on. AccuVance is throwing down some stuff, and then Garage Wing Brake is sponsoring the event with some wheels. That's our boy Jake.
He would.
Garage Wing Brake, a private track, is sponsoring our event. A private track in a dude's garage.
So Liquid Death.
Yeah.
So I know that Kevin does like Liquid Death races and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what all that entails, but he just told us that they're sponsoring. So
well, I could imagine be like, hey, the title says death in it.
Yeah. It is a good they honestly, I don't know how. Hopefully next year maybe we can make this work, but they would be a great title sponsor, right? Like it ties in really well.
Yeah. We all need to stay hydrated.
Well, so that's the thing that got me off guard because of the can design. Liquid Death to me just looked like a beer can. So I'm like, oh, what is this? Oh, it's just sparkling water. Okay. Yeah, it's good. Jake, what did we forget, or did you forget about this?
He forgot about the show, and he's mad that it's on Thursdays, but I will remind him that if it wasn't on Thursdays, I wouldn't have been here this Saturday. So then you would have had to watch the whole show without me, which is obviously terrible. So same with DJ, which would be Adam and Chris.
Oh, I mean, or it could be Jake.
Maybe that's
Lance.
what they want. I don't know. Well, it wouldn't be Jake either. It wouldn't be Judd, Jake, me. We're all going to FD Seattle. So.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That'll be fun. Are you carpooling with everybody or just?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, gotcha. You did that one trip to California, and now it's all like, bro.
I mean, it's just easy. We're all interested in going to the same things.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so that's pretty much for calendar events. I mean, outside of October 4th, 5th, and 6th, which we all know is Super G. So, yeah, do your planning, do your hotels, all that stuff, because it comes up fast. Before we get to our guest, which is Chris up in the top left-hand corner here, DJ or Mr. Spleen Machine, what are you working on?
So I am working on the body again, but I put my mask on. I did some test painting. I'd have to go grab the little test tile, little thing that I did. But, getting the body all masked up and getting ready for some paint.
Gotcha. What color are you going to go with?
I'm redoing the red that was originally trying to do on the 180. Yeah, here. One second.
The one that basically turned out black?
Yes.
Yeah, I gotcha. I feel that. I feel that pain.
Kitty on a pit bag.
Got Orlando. Got Charles. That looks good.
It's kind of funny because you're the only one. I mean, you told us about it, but you're the only one who really expected that car to be red. And I think everyone sees it and doesn't really. Everyone's just like, oh, yeah, it's a pretty nice body. It's like black with a livery on it. And nobody really thinks twice about it. But
yeah.
For you to finally have it look the way that you meant it to in the first place.
Yeah.
It's like one of those midnight colors.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, let's get going here. You guys, we've got Chris in the house here. He's from Puerto Rico. So we're going to do just like the standard rigmarole of the questions, and then we'll see if there's any similarities. Or actually, do we first want to go back to our topic? No, never mind. We'll do Chris first, and then we'll go back to our topic of streaming competitions. Oh, we lost. Oh no, Logan.
I ruined it.
Uh-oh.
My bad.
Hold on.
Now Logan is part of us.
Well,
I'm now Puerto Rican.
Yeah, Logan's Chris now. You had to do that. That's okay. Let me just do this.
It's no big deal.
No, not typically. But
so, DJ, you're cutting that out or just doing some masking?
Doing the masking. They didn't provide the front ones, so I just gotta. Yeah.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
Is that a Mazda RX-8?
good eyes.
Yes, indeed. Yep.
Okay.
Good eyes.
Yeah, he's just trying to find something that's a little more unique, and I told him
Not a GR86.
yeah, exactly.
What? You don't
What's up,
want to
Puerto
do?
I told him, you don't see a lot of RX-8s in drifting, and the only one you do see, not great, not the best. But maybe DJ can raise the level of RX-8 drifting for us.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was a car in Fast and Furious, right? It has to drift.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with the chassis. It's more the driver, the pilot.
Gotcha. Okay. Names are set. Tags are set. Don't drop out again, Logan.
I won't. We're good now. The extension is actually turned on now, so my mic won't shut off again.
So I think I have a workaround for you. We can talk about it after stream. It's in the properties of the actual audio device.
Okay.
Anyways, okay, so Chris, back to you. Can you tell us who you are and where you're located?
My name is Christian. I am from Puerto Rico. Uh, and yeah, there it goes. A car with music. That's typical in Puerto Rico. But anyways, I don't know if you hear.
No.
Okay. Anyways, but yeah, we have a track here on the west side. It's on the owner's house, on his garage, and that's basically it was the only track for a long time, and then there's a new track that is getting built on the north side. But yeah, I've been in RC drift like for a year and a half, maybe 2 years right now, and I've been on the RC maybe for 5 years. I've done a couple of things like FPV drones, 3D printing, and all those things that we like to do as hobbies.
I think all of us are into those things at some point, right?
Yeah. But yeah, that's about it. I am all in right now in RC drift, and yeah, hoping to get this side of the hobby going up, like keep growing and growing in the Iceland.
Oh, we lost your audio a little bit.
Oh, can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Okay. Yeah, man, that's cool. We always want to see new tracks and, well, more places to go, right? Because if we have more places,
I mean, I don't want to speak too out of turn here, but I would imagine in Puerto Rico, like most hobbies, it's probably challenging to find like a great outlet or a great place. I mean, obviously it's just a smaller population, so it's probably difficult to, have a big drift shop or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the case?
It is. Yeah, unfortunately, because like for example, you guys on the US can have like you have P-tile, which is a indoor thing, and that requires to have a local like a building or something. So it's very difficult. Like for example, most of the hobbies here does not have the right amount of people to to support that. So it's very niche. Everything related to RC. It is not only drift, but like buggies, bashing, anything.
Yeah. I mean, it's an island. It's not connected to any kind of mainland, right? So you have issues with shipping. I mean, everyone's kind of dispersed. It's a big island. There's a lot of people there, but yeah. I mean, it's just
we do have more people in the US than on the island, but yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have thankfully we have we are part of the US. It's kind of difficult to explain, but we do have the same mailing, USPS. We can do orders from Super G. They send to us. Yep. And thankfully we have that, because if we didn't, I don't know.
It gets a lot more expensive, for sure.
I mean, shipping to us, there's basically two options. If the standard is like 11 bucks, and then if it's priority, most of the time for bodies and things like that, like 17. It's not that bad.
Yeah, that's totally normal for I think for most of us. But like I think if you guys were on a non-US territory, it could be
right. If it was
worse.
International shipping, it was a different story.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you talking about? RC art, man. Typical shipping's what, like $30? Or if you go to what is it, RC Mart? Typical
RC
box.
Mart for us is very, very expensive when it comes to shipping.
Oh yeah, like same for us. It's like $60 if you want a body, just because of the size of the box. That's all that it is.
Yeah.
So is the second, how close are the two tracks to you? How far do you have to drive?
About 2 hours
each way, or just like one track is, or 2 hours either way.
Yeah, it's one is in the west, very west side, and then the other one is more like in the northeast side. So, yeah, but
So I'm just looking at a map here. So the probably the commercial one is in like San Juan.
it's nearby. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And then
it's
the
nearby.
other one is in, pardon my Spanish, Mayahuez.
My west. Yes,
Nice. Nailed it.
that's specifically in my west. Yes,
I'm sick. And where do you live?
I live in Isabela, so that's
Okay.
maybe in a middle point between those two.
Okay. Cool.
It's like an hour from Maya West, and then like an hour and a half, hour and 45 from the other track.
Perfect. So that's not bad at all. I mean, there's probably places in the U.S. where you're not, or in the contiguous states
Mhm.
where you're not an hour and a half from a track. So it's not
Right.
the worst. I mean, obviously getting stuff is a little harder, but it's pretty cool.
I mean, you do what you got to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
Of course.
That
What's
one.
so I don't want to take over this interview too much, Adam. I'm just so curious.
then curious away. It's
All right,
our
cool.
stream. We got it.
All right. So, at the track that's at a house, how long has that been going for?
If I remember right, maybe. Well, it's gonna have the anniversary on September, so almost a year.
Sick.
The current one, because previously we were on a regular tile, like like on a garage, and we marked the layout with tapes, and that's what we have.
Yeah.
Were you able to be there like as an established like type of event or type of activity, or did you have to tear down every single time?
Because it was on with the layout was with tape.
Mhm.
If it was, because we tend to go like weekly, so if it was weekly, we might build up, like put up the walls, but only the walls. But if it was a big event, then we have like everything, walls,
Yeah.
and scale things,
So-
everything.
It was like during when you guys aren't drifting there, it was being used for other things.
There were cars there.
Yeah. Cool.
Gotcha.
So how many
It's not-
people do you typically have going out to that track?
I would say maybe 10, 12 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then at the other track?
They're pretty new. They're basically, but I have been like only one time there.
Okay.
But I would say around the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're building it up.
Yeah.
Do you think there's potential to bring more people out there, or is it just kind of still unknown, or is there like a drifting community, or?
I think, yeah, there's definitely a drifting community right here. They're doing what they call drift yard, and it's real drift for real cars, and
Yep.
it's not like Formula drift. It's more like a casual drift and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that we do have our our space there, and we can promote our track there, and people are seeing us and are getting curious about it, and I let them know, explain, send the Instagram and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely a drift community. I'm hoping that it could grow over time, and we can have multiple tracks all over the island.
Yeah, that'd be sick. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people there. I think, compared to, if you look at, I was looking because I was curious at population between like Puerto Rico and say Portland. So where we live, Portland is like 635,000, probably more than that, like total in the kind of overall area. But there's 3 million people on Puerto Rico, so
Yeah,
we can
3
definitely pump those numbers up, right?
Yeah, 135. That's the 100 times 35 is miles. In miles, that's the size of the island.
Yeah.
So, people per mile, there are a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. So what's like at the Mayaways track? What are you guys driving? What's the popular kind of chassis and electronic setup?
The usual Rev D. Since the Rev D came out, a couple of people which are more competitive start buying that. And yeah, I don't want to go the same route as everyone, so I bought an RD2. But
nice. I think it's a good choice.
Yeah, that's my chassis right there. It's my body.
Now this is at the West Side track, right?
That's the West Side, yeah.
I mean, that looks pretty nuts for a garage setup.
Yeah, like I said, that right there, that's
like a big event
space. No, that space right there, the current that we have, that stays like that, like all the time.
I got you.
But the previous one wasn't on an actual garage.
So the current track is permanent.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you see the tile.
Surface?
That is basically concrete, painted concrete.
Okay.
It is painted with epoxy paint, like street brick.
Yeah.
It's
kind of cool. It makes it almost looks like actual asphalt.
Because it kind of is. Sorry.
And it's very slick. And it's very,
I would imagine it's pretty slick, right? What tire do you guys run?
We are currently using Rev D ASO1.
Okay.
And that's the sweet spot that we found on tires. So not too much grip, but yeah, it is very slippery, and we do like that because of the tuning of the chassis. We like to tune for for grip. So when we go out, let's say to the US, so we can, we have our grip already tuned. So hopefully it's going to be fast there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we were talking about that. I think even last week it was just like, if the surface that you have at home is lower grip than where you're going to go compete, then it's only an advantage to you because you're used to less. So you're more likely to kind of advance your tune in that way. Yeah.
I would love to try P-Tile, but for the moment, I'm not able to. I would like to next year, at least if I have the chance to go to the US to any track.
Yeah.
It can be regular P-Tile, J-Tile. I would love to go to Super G and try the J-Tile, but
it's really good.
But I'm pretty sure it's gonna be way more grippier than what we have.
Yeah. I would just looking at these cars on this video that we're watching, I would definitely say, it's probably going to be a little bit more grippy. Is there anyone in chat, or do any of us know, is there anywhere in Florida that has the P-Tile?
I think Miami RT Playground, I think it's called. They recently got J-Tile.
Okay, there you go.
So that's where they're trying to go next year, or this year.
Yeah. That'd be good.
Right.
Man, I honestly, it kind of it's Puerto Rico is a little farther for me now than it used to be, but I think it'd be cool to go down there and see what you guys are up to.
Yeah, we had some visits.
Easier too.
Yeah.
we had Lucky Drift. Lucky Drift was here from Rack City. And we had a great time with him.
That's
it was a great person. So shout out to Lucky Drift. And yeah, we would love to continue to have visitors from the U.S., from everywhere. It's a good time. We have always have a good time.
Definitely. I bet the food is crazy good too.
That's the best part.
Speaking of food, since that is my favorite question, if we were to hang out in Puerto Rico one day, well, where you're at, where would the best place to eat be at, or where is your go-to eat?
It's hard to choose one. I mean, depending on where you are, it wouldn't take you more than 5 to 10 minutes to choose something that will be good food. So anything that is Puerto Rican food, not fast food or anything, you will like it.
That's good.
Right on.
That's awesome.
On the track on Maya West, we do have like kind of a small shopping, and there's a few restaurants there that are nearby the track, so there are options to eat everywhere. I don't know much about Maya West because that's not my hometown, but I'm pretty sure the owner of the track can tell you where to go.
Right on.
How often are you getting to go to the track?
Myself, they run weekly, one day a week. But myself, I try to go every week. Before I was going like every single week, every time that I could, but now I'm a father, so I have less time. So yeah, I'm trying to maybe once every 2 weeks I'm going right now.
That's pretty good, with a newborn.
Yeah,
not a bad deal.
Yeah.
So we kind of talked about like what chassis people are driving. So you're seeing like a lot of RDXs basically.
Well, we do have
Just everything.
kind of. Yeah, we do have MD1s, RD2s, RDX. We do have Sakura D4s. We do have MST RMXs ready to run, upgraded. What else?
So just pretty normal, honestly. Just same as anybody else.
Yeah. Right.
Cool. Yeah. Do you guys? What is your like? Do you guys have like a competition series? Is there an SDC region there, or how is that working?
There's not. So because we don't have any regions nearby, if we do want to compete in Super G, the finals, for example, we can just go let them know, and we should be able to compete. It's pretty hard because of the limited time that most of our people have to run an SD series, and it's kind of hard.
Is there
not enough people to basically be consistent of that? Yeah.
Is there any kind of competitions at all that happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
We do have some competitions every now and then. There are more like single competition. It's not by point or anything.
Just one and done.
Yeah. But we do have a couple of people that are very competitive, including myself. So we do. I do like a lot of competition, but every now and then we just do a day of just drifting all day.
Yeah. Do you guys do? Oh, go ahead, Adam.
How are you doing your judging? Like, do you do your the standard 3 judges, or do you have a different way of judging?
Again, because of the limited people, we do have maybe 1 or 2 judges, one of each side of the track, and then they set up like a set of points per zone, and each judge just do its job. But we do allow taps. We're not Super G, but because I know that right there the track is not the biggest, so it's the turns and the speed is not the fastest, so it's pretty hard to be like chasing in the doors like every single moment. So yeah.
I gotta say, I'm seeing those videos and having been to around a few tracks. It's not that small. It's pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty.
I mean,
comparable in size to a lot of places here, even.
Yeah, I mean, I'm comparing it to Super G. So
yeah, obviously,
G,
yeah, it's tough, but yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean,
it is
like I would even say like our track and like Super G. I'm just speaking West Coast as far as what I've experienced. Our track, Super G, and like Tandem are like probably the 3 bigger tracks on the West Coast. Most of the other places I've seen are pretty, or I mean, A Main is pretty big too. But
yeah, I've seen that.
There's a lot of smaller tracks.
It is okay size. It is an okay size. I don't. It's more than enough for us.
Yeah,
but we'll like to be Super G. But
yeah, of course. I've always told all our guests like the most fun I ever had drifting is when we do like a car show, and there will be like a huge open area of like just unmarked polished concrete for like I don't know 50 yards, and just letting that 10.5 sing at full RPM and go like 20 miles an hour across the whole track in one turn. That's the most fun, but obviously we can't do that.
Yeah, we had that on like I mentioned on the drift yard with the real drift cars event. We do have our space there, and one of the photos that Adam showed up, it was actually on actual asphalt, and we were drifting there. We just put like some rocks, and we try to do some tandems there, and we do have a lot of fun there.
That's awesome. So you guys, is there at the other track, how big is that? Is that similar size?
It's a little bit bigger because it's on a basketball court, an abandoned basketball court. They use the same paint, epoxy.
Nice.
And but it's a little bit bigger. I don't know the exact size, but it's bigger.
Is there a good like kind of community between the 2 tracks?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
cool.
They when we have events, they come to our track, and when we have events, we go to their track. So
perfect. Yeah. That's good.
Logan, I think it's funny that we all basically say the same thing.
We're all like, no.
Well, no, because like my answer was like not quite as big as. Sorry, the question or the statement is PDX looks bigger than Super G, to be honest. And pictures are pictures, right? I think it's only one lane less or somewhere.
Well, Jed and I, when we were there, measured it, and so yeah, what he said is pretty accurate. It's not as wide, 4 feet. I mean, to me, that's about the same length. So if you're standing on the long edge, it's the same kind of visual area that you're looking at, but it's not quite as deep.
Yeah, I just find it funny that we all basically said something kind of equivalent to that,
but different. Yeah.
Sorry, Christian, how hot does it get over there?
Very, very hot.
There's always a catch.
Yeah, I mean, it's always hot. We don't have winter here. We don't have anything. We just have the sun. So it's always above 90 degrees.
Really?
Yeah.
Always above 90 in the day?
Yeah. In the day, yeah.
And what about the night?
Damn.
I mean, the night, if it's after December, which is the coldest, or less warm, it's 80 something in the night.
Oh my gosh. Oh no.
Did you hear what just happened, Adam? He said when it's the coldest, well, you can't really call it cold. It's less warm.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You don't even, it's not even like, is it cool on the beach or anything? Like,
it's
how's the water? Is the water warm?
Yeah. The water's warm.
Yeah, that Gulf Coast, man. That water's hot, dude.
Well,
But
so
yeah.
we'll look at the chassis in a little bit, but just to point this out, his chassis is not running any fans.
I was gonna ask, how many fans?
He doesn't even need fans. That's what I'm saying, dude. You don't need fans.
I mean, the ESC has, but the motor doesn't. It just has like the integrated fan. I'm okay with that.
Oh,
Like
okay. So yeah, you got fans.
Yeah.
It's the fan on the rotor
Well,
because of Agile.
What motor is it? An AccuVance?
It's an Agile.
Yeah, it's Agile.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it has like just the little blades attached to the rotor.
Yeah, I count that as
Yeah,
a fan.
Okay. yeah. No, that counts. I count it too. I don't use anything more than that.
Yeah, I do.
And you're proof that I don't need it.
Yeah. If you run on air conditioning, then you don't need it.
Well, wait, because he hasn't run on P-Tile yet, right? So that could change if he ever runs on P-Tile.
Yeah, I do think there's definitely going from it's kind of counterintuitive, but definitely going from the old tile to the J tile, it does take a little more from your motor heat wise. It generates more heat.
Is J tile grippier than P tile?
No, other way.
Well, no. I mean, the tile that we had before, which was the standard like P tile that you would see in the US, but it was like waxed and polished, was definitely, in my opinion, less grip than the raw J tile. And Judd is backing me up on that. So
J tile after breaking
the,
it is grippier than what you have before.
Yeah, I think the J tile. I mean, I've driven at Super G, Tandem, and our track. I think the J tile has always felt a little grippier than what ours was. And I agree with you. Like I think that's not exactly the direction I would want to go, but the fact that it looks so much better and we don't have to do anything maintenance wise except for sweep it makes up for all that. I would for sure rather be on a less grippy surface, but it is what it is. So yeah, I think the more grip, the more heat you're going to build up in your motor for sure. So there's that to consider for you guys.
I mean, run a pretty high FDR, so I'm not sure if that counts as having the motor just getting a little bit hotter, but yeah. Because of the surface, because it's a slippery surface.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to have a higher FDR, if not.
Yeah, but it's also less load on the motor. So,
right.
I don't really at our track. I don't really consider my motor temperature whatsoever. I just kind of drive, and it's fine. Same with you. I don't have a fan motor. I have. Just
I mean, if you're able to touch it when you end running. Yeah. And not burn yourself, you're good.
Yeah, you're good to go.
If you follow race guidelines, which are a lot hotter than what our guidelines are, if you can hold your finger on it and keep it on there without like worrying about being burnt, then you're fine, totally fine.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've never gotten close to anything like that.
Now, if you are to the point where you have to immediately touch your finger or remove your finger, or if you start to hear singeing, do something about that.
If you
not
put a drop of water on your ESC and it boils, you're hot, dude.
Yeah. Before that, the track that is on the northeast previously was a carpet track on a local.
Oh yeah.
But
that would be hot.
I was able to run like a couple of times there, and I had a different motor. I had a Sanwa ESC, and I think it's X something. I don't remember. It comes with the combo with the ESC on eBay. But I ran like a couple of laps, and I could tell right away the difference in the temperature in the motor and the ESC.
Yeah.
Yep.
There is a comment on the Facebooks about rev limiters, and I still think that Sanwa has the best rev limiter out of them all.
That was the best, yeah.
Like, whoever says different, fight me. I know I did it. Like, way back when I had the Vortex.
To me, that's just completely wrong argument.
Wait, no. The argument is what has the better sounding rev limiter. That was the question.
Yeah, but then my argument would be, who cares?
Who use it?
Why are you using a rev limiter?
Because it sounds cool for about like
It's cool. It's cool.
It's cool for like 10 minutes and then like it's dumb. Jose, you break your own stuff, my man. Like,
well, I mean, okay, so fair enough for Jose to say that. I mean, that's probably somewhat. There's some truth to that. Just like basic physics, like the shock of turning on and off is what will break brittle metals, but also probably still Jose.
Like fair, but the argument, if you ever look at that tune, like Harvey's tune or Brandon Gwen's tune with the rev limiters, they're ridiculous to get the motor to boost that high so it sounds like the actual rev limiter. Elsewise, it just kind of doesn't sound like it's rev limiting.
Yeah. Like if you set a rev limiter at a normal RPM, you probably wouldn't even notice.
Yeah, like it's dumb. Whereas the Sanwa stuff, like you don't even need to do that. You just set it to be on, and if you hit the rev limit, then it bangs the rev limiter. Anyways,
I can't advocate at all for any type of rev limiter.
so there is dang it, Jose, you may have had it set at 90, which is fine, but if your boost, like if you turn off your rev limiter, where does your motor go to? Because if it's going like 150,000 RPMs without it, then that's problematic.
Yeah, let's.
Where was I going with this?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Back to the P-tile though, because grip is relative. We can always change our tires if you want a different form of grip, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, there are a few days that I do miss the concrete over at Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
So it was.
Yeah, I think
it was.
For us, it's just a matter of, if we had two tracks, I could see, even if they were both J-tile, I could see being like, this one is a lower grip tire, and the other one is the LF3. But since we have the tile, I'm kind of content with just run whatever Super G has.
Oh no, for sure.
That way we just get to be used to it, and it's not such a shock when we get there.
No, that totally makes sense.
But that could totally backfire on us. I mean, a lot of the Canadian guys, when they came down, were like, oh crap, because they were used to more grip. They struggled. So it is a question of like, maybe you do want to run a less grippy tire during the season and then go to Super G, and it's just extra grip all of a sudden.
That was RCFC's. Well, I believe that was RCFC's like game book last year. They were basically running super hard tires that had no grip at all. That's what I remember. Jake would know. He went up there a few times, and Judd did too. I think that this year.
Judd went up.
Okay,
Judd went up one time this year.
So
I was wanting to. I just never really. My calendar filled up so damn fast, dude.
Like, did you ever drift the small P-tile track over at Northwest, or did you ever go to Northwest?
I only drifted the last layout that was on the main track.
Okay, so basically, the way that I feel that whenever we talk about rolling garage,
I also drifted the epoxy track at the end.
The epoxy track.
The other track that was there at the end.
That was there at the end. So like over in the corner by the bathrooms?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the small P-tile track.
Okay.
So that, like, whenever you talk about rolling garage, I feel like that's the amount of grip that was there.
That is actually more than rolling garage even.
No,
Yeah.
See, that tile we actually took down to bare, and then we resurfaced it with just sealer. So, yeah, we didn't do anything to it, and it got that grippy, which is why my consensus was normal P tiles more grippy. So,
yeah, that one at Northwest, that was like probably one of the grippier tracks I've even driven on. That stuff was insane, and that it is a whole nother, like, we've been talking the last few weeks of like, yeah, tuning your car to a lower grip surface is great, but I think for high grip, you're more tuning
out
yourself as a driver. Like, it makes everything happen faster. So like, if you get good at doing that, then you're going to go onto a low grip surface and it's going to be like in slow motion for you. So there's advantages either way, right?
Which is why I think, like, if you drive the small micro scale, 24th scale stuff, and then switching to a 10th scale will feel really dumb. Like, just because it's... I mean,
when they, Nikki and Judd have brought their little cars out and they're keeping up with us on the big track, it's like, oh, shit.
Right. Speaking of which, we're going to have Nikki on the stream on the 29th. So we're going to have a stream dedicated to micro. And it'll be fun.
I want to get one.
Okay, my problem is, and hopefully Nikki can kind of help justify this, but every single time like I start the Baby Shark process, it's like $700, $600 to $700 in the cart. I'm like, maybe not. But we'll find out. We'll find out soon enough.
That's what I'm scared about. Like,
can you really? Can we pull up Charlie's comment?
Charlie, did the J-Tile make drifting any more enjoyable, or is it purely to stay competitive for Super G? Both? I think it's both.
I can answer. I have my own answer to that. It's basically, one, it is slightly more enjoyable because the old track had, everyone that drifts with me knows what I called booze pads. The old track had spots where all of a sudden you would catch a bunch of grip and just take off. And, there's an argument to be made for that, but, it's just like characteristic, right? Like a track with character has different grip in different places. And that's fair, but for the level of driving that is required by the rule set of competition, I was like, it was not my favorite thing. And then as far as outside of driving, for people that maintain the track, it's a hell of a lot more enjoyable because we don't have to try to figure out the recipe of waxing and polishing and degreasing and all of this. It's literally just wet mop it sometimes, dry mop it most of the time, call it good, and it will just always be pretty consistent. So that's my response is overall just better experience for driving and for maintaining the track.
It's less of an eyesore. The white track
also looks way better. And we've drifted on it for what? Like
few months.
3 months now?
Yeah.
And you can't see you can see a line in that the line is more polished, it's shinier, but it's not a different color. Whereas on the old tile, this line that we've been driving for 3 months would be black and everything else would be bright white.
And please only run LF3 competition spec. We tested the Phoenix tires on it, and it leaves like little bumpy grooves in it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely keep to the spec tire. If your tires are very scratched, try not to use them. Definitely don't bring tires that you've driven in your garage. All of those kinds of things.
DJ, what are your thoughts?
On the tile, I absolutely love it. Yeah, it's a great investment for our track. Obviously, from the old stuff being like what Logan was saying, there's a little bit of inconsistency in some spots where it's like you'd get into one spot and you'd be a little bit slower and obviously grip up. And now that we have that consistency going through all the way, it just makes the driving experience so much better. And I can see some people's actually starting to get the hang of drifting a little bit more too.
Yeah, I think it definitely flattens the learning curve a little bit, or smooths it out, I would say, right? Like,
That's funny. Hey, Jose, I hope you're not hurt over all my bashing on you.
if that's what he's heard about, yeah, I think you're good. We roast that kid more than anybody ever gets roasted.
Yeah, but we
He's
still need him.
Still trucking, so he's good.
Let's see. Okay. What are you saying now? Guys at Super G said the buzz brake tires left weird patterns. Yeah, I bet they would. Jose's in retirement. Lies.
Sounds like that's about to be over on Sunday.
Okay. Back to Christian here. Sorry. Total tangent here. So let's talk about the whole idea of your chassis here. Why you went the way that you went, and what exactly are we looking at? So here we are starting off with your first picture, and you had said that this is an RD 2.0. So tell us a lot about this chassis.
So yeah, basically I bought a RD 2.0 with the Team AD conversion. I started using it with the Accuband's electronics and Futaba GYD 550 and the infamous AGFRC servo. I was having a lot of understeering. So I wanted to have a little bit more weight on the front, and I decided to go with the DDSS.
Okay.
So it's still the AGFRC servo?
It is that.
Okay.
I refuse to pay the amount of money for the Futaba servo.
I mean, there's plenty of other servos out there, though.
Fair. And
but I have everything Futaba. So
I'm curious with that servo, because presumably it is, at least hardware-wise, it should be exactly the same thing as the RSST, right? So
it's supposedly they're same as Yokomo's. I don't know if it's the B2 or V3. Yeah, they're apparently they're manufactured.
I mean, AGFRC makes a lot of the RC stuff, but the question becomes, what is the firmware like? So what, like, as far as programming it, is it programmable?
Yeah, it is.
So what are the settings like in that?
Well, I only work with the sensitivity and the dampering. So basically go up on the damper until I don't get any wobbles. And then on the gyro, I set up the rest. So the dampering point.
So you don't really mess with like the servo speed or anything like that?
We do. It does have power option for the power percentage. So I go down on that a little bit.
Okay.
Like 70 something percent.
Yeah.
Because the DDSS is way sensitive compared to any other steering that I had.
Yep.
Yeah. I think my takeaway from this would be like, I mean, I think AGFRC probably makes the Yokomo's and the RSST. They're probably different, slightly different hardware wise, but basically like the software that RevD provides with their servos is probably different than the way you program this AGFRC one. But ultimately, I think you can. It's pretty likely that you can get the same level of performance out of that servo as you could an SS.
I think you can get maybe better results with the RevD because of all the parameters that you can.
Okay, so there are a lot more parameters.
Yeah, definitely on the RevD.
Okay.
But at the same time, you lose parameters if you're using the RevD gyro, comparing it with the Futaba. So
Yeah.
So one thing compensate the other. But the what I like about the AGFRC compared to the RSST is that it's not as twitchy. It's very fluid. I think the RSST is not brushless. This one it is, and I don't like tuning with the computer and then going to the track and then going to the computer.
Totally.
To the track. So I like
you've
to
heard
set
me
up
talk about that.
yeah. So I like to just set something up on the servo and then tune with the gyro.
Yeah.
What's left.
Yeah. It's funny because I ran almost the exact opposite setup of this, which was I had an RSST servo and an AGFRC gyro, and that was way less parameters. There was no parameters basically.
Yeah.
That's what was on the RSST.
Yeah.
So
I started with both AGFRC.
Okay. Good. Cool.
And servo, but the thing is that when you try to make at least in my case, when I try to make the car more stable, it was hard to turn because of the high gain. On the transitions, it was very slow. So there was a guy on our team that already had Futaba, and I started looking for more information about it and what it does. And I saw the tail speed and steering gain and everything.
Yeah.
Started seeing videos. So I said, okay, that's basically what I need. I can leave the gain up, but start messing with that, and I can, have the best of both worlds, basically.
I do. I really like this this solution here to do the AGFRC servo, couple parameters, and then primarily use the 550 because you're buying obviously a premium gyro, but then you're saving all the money on the servo, and you still get pretty good performance out of it. That's a really good combo. I think that probably I would say most of us haven't really seen before.
I always recommend it on the pages on Facebook. I always recommend it because it's pretty good. I mean, for me, it's pretty good.
How much is that servo?
The servo on Amazon is like 60 something bucks. So
wow.
Yeah, it's not the cheapest, but it's not like the more expensive as well. So it's kind of in the middle because we can buy like 20, 30, 40 bucks servo, but they're not programmable or anything.
No programming, and honestly, the hardware would be in question at that point. Like this is. The AGFRC hardware, the servo itself is equivalent to a Yokomo or an RSSD. They probably make both of those, so like it's the same, physical. The hardware is there. It's just not quite as programmable. It's even the same programmer as the RSST.
It is. It is apparently. It seems like exactly the same as the Yokomo and as the RSST, but they neither of them communicates, so you can't use the AGFRC.
Yeah. So what that is just the firmware that is on either of the servos from either company is that's where they're putting their own flavor on it, right? So the Yokomo has their own firmware on board, and so does RevD have their own firmware on board.
Yep.
So that's the software side of it is proprietary, but
exactly
hardware wise, honestly, if I was it's tough. I mean, they don't have a lot of reason to sort of advance their firmware and their software to compete because obviously they're selling these things already in great numbers. So it's probably going to be the case. But like I said, like you've found, you can really kind of just do everything you need to do on the gyro anyways. So
yeah, and I bought it because it was Amazon. If I didn't like it, I could return it. So
yes,
I gave it a shot, and it was way better than I expected. So I kept it, and it has been great so far.
Yes, this is also good advice to anyone out there. If you buy stuff on Amazon and you don't like it, you just return it, and there will be questions asked. Most of the time, from my experience,
that's what you pay.
As a seller on Amazon, you don't even have to put the right product back in the box.
Right. That's my fear. Like, but hey, this is the Amazon
Put a lead
page
weight
for
in
it.
there, and they'll probably pass it off and call it a good return.
So at this time, it's $69, and it comes with the programmer.
There you go.
Yeah, it comes with it.
Like-
Yeah, that one, the black one doesn't come with it. The black one, I just bought it recently because it is. I just don't want any red on my chassis, so I just bought the black one, and it doesn't come with the programmer, but I already had it.
So while we're talking here, I was kind of pixel peeping around here, this area. You're shaving your Yokomo lowers?
Even
Is that
on
what
an
we're doing?
RD2. That's an RD2, right?
Yeah, I shaved it because I don't have any stoppers, so they would rub it a little bit. So I wanted a little bit more.
Because it's a pretty low offset wheel too. Or
I'm sorry.
what's like what kind of hexes and wheel offset are you using?
It's basically the 8 millimeters, and the wheels is 6.
Okay.
Millimeter. Yeah. But yeah, I shave it because I don't like the original stoppers from the RD2. They don't
too early.
Yeah, with the suspensions, they don't work really well because they're threaded. So going up and down when the stoppers are all the way to one side, the suspension gets stuck. It gets stuck.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I removed the stoppers, and I started having like locking issues on the wheel. It stopped spinning, so I shaved a little bit and adjust the endpoints on the gyro. And
Yep.
So
Just use the gyro as the stopper.
right. Yeah. Until now, so far so good.
I mean, it's funny because I was praising the RD2 lowers for finally changing and being so much lower profile, and then of course in our sport, like, yeah, no, we're gonna have to shave that now.
Yeah,
As always.
it's classic. I mean, it's everyone does it. I also seen like Rio's Instagram, and I think I saw one post where he had to shave something on his car. So even overdose. Everyone.
Sorry, I'm trying to find what Charlie's talking about.
Yeah, there's like just a huge like kind of overview post for Worlds. They have a schedule, and nothing looks too unexpected or different.
Right, I think I'm overthinking this.
Yeah.
Charlie, are you referring to the who qualifies to compete at STC 2024? Maybe so.
Oh, registration limits. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing that.
I've got this pulled up here.
Oh, 128 slots. 128 slots. That is interesting.
So is that what you were talking last week?
No.
Well, that is kind of what I was talking about last week.
Yeah,
I would
we thought
definitely.
that was gonna happen
I would
this year,
prefer
next year.
more. I would prefer more definition to that. Like, I mean, how are they going to decide who gets to come? There was.
I don't think it's. Oh.
How many people were there last year, DJ? Do you remember?
It was about 100 and like that.
Yeah,
number.
115.
So they're going to hit that
Around?
easily.
Yeah,
Only
I don't know the exact number, but ballpark would be around 115.
So is it?
Sure.
Oh,
I'm not
so
too sure.
first Charlie's saying first come first serve.
Oh.
That's very interesting. They're going to hit
Register
that
is
immediately.
Yeah, dude.
When does registration open?
Monday. I'll be up at midnight.
Dude, honestly.
That's crazy.
Oh,
That
Yeah.
is not okay.
Because so that
Hot
would
take right away. This is not the way to do this.
So that means we know top qualifier or winner of the series probably goes without a question, right?
Hopefully. Hopefully. I honestly, for myself, hopefully your position in the in the region trumps if someone signs up before you, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, I would hope that was the case. Like
there's
top qualifier.
So they're saying there's how many regions? 19 regions. So if I'm second in one of those regions, I feel like I should have a spot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I shouldn't have to wake up at midnight.
And it keeps the registrations the same guidelines as before. So podium winners for second or third, any round, not the finals, any round. Participants who've completed 50% of their competitions. Anyone, so Christian, this is you, who lives further than 100 miles away from any regional comp. Judges who have either competed in and or judged for 50% or more of the rounds. Any host or organizer of the SDC regionals. What's hilarious is that I don't fit into any of that, but I am there.
Well, no, you are a host and an organizer.
I mean, I take supreme pleasure out of saying I don't run this event. I'm just here for media coverage.
Yeah, no, you've totally qualified for host or organizer.
Yeah.
You're an organizer. You organize our event coverage.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so, I will be I'm gonna try to register as soon as I can, I guess, but like that's kind of crazy if there's no rules.
What my guess would be is if they're gonna try to cap it, obviously they're gonna have all these people registering for it, and then they'd have to probably try to break it down within regions and like try to do like quick searches for like, okay, let's see if this person either completely took out a victory or at least podium. So,
but how do you do judges or organizers that are applying, right? Like they're not ranked, so how does that weigh against someone that just showed up to every round of their region and got last place?
So
that's true.
Just for numbers here, Lance is saying that it's 115 for last year. So yeah, basically they didn't estimate for any growth, or they just saw 120 and we're like, yeah, we can't go any longer.
Hitting my point is I don't like how they've announced that there is a cap and then have no guidelines for how that is vetted. All we're hearing is first come, first serve, which is crazy, honestly.
Yeah, could you imagine like the absolutely bottom like of your qualifiers? Like he was there, he got points just by being there. Didn't podium, didn't do anything. Yeah. That'll be an interesting way. This has just come out.
Like this should have been announced like after registration started or something. Be like, okay,
definitely,
guys, we're probably gonna have to do a cap this year. So
it should definitely something that should be announced before people commit to competing in their region. Oh, Charlie's saying first come, first serve was a guess. So there's that.
There's two sides of that puzzle piece right there, because on one side, putting a cap kind of it does limit everything about it. And as far as like how they go about it, because it could bring better competition, and that would be great.
Look, I'm not against a cap at all, but the criteria for making the cut needs to be known before we start the competitive season.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like,
cool.
I've already been saying, get your hotels now, right? So if you've already gotten your hotel or your place to stay,
That's to my point. I have lodging and flights already booked. So if I don't make it into this cap, I'm going to be pretty pissed.
And it makes me wonder if like they may try to further announce something instead of like not like because everyone's gonna have to do a qualifying run at that point. I was gonna say, what happens if they did like the overall winners automatically got entered to like the top 32 bracket, but obviously that defeats the purpose of a qualifying run. So
yeah, I think
so that's kind of weird.
Realistically, what they're gonna have to do here is literally just like take everyone that signs up and look at what everyone has accomplished in that season and make kind of a manual decision on like who deserves the spot more than somebody else.
But then you're screwing over the organizers and the judges, right?
Well, that's the thing though. That's what I'm saying. That's the point I was making was like, how do you rate someone who judged 8 or 6 rounds in their region versus someone who didn't get any points, who went to 5 rounds in their region and didn't get any points? Yep. How do you judge that against them? You can't. Like, it's just two different things. Well, I mean, even someone that
college football style resume, right?
Say you have someone in a region where they scored 1 point or 2 points in the competition series, and you have someone who judged 2 rounds. How do you judge that against each other? So those are very hard questions to answer. And it's funny that they say they don't think they'll need to use the cap, but it's like,
we made the competition bigger at the same time. Like,
are we blind? Like, what do you mean? Of course of course, more than 128 people are going to want to compete in that this year. I think. I mean, your event's not going to grow by 9 slots in 1 year.
I do see. Well, I do think that it's unfair. Judd's comment here: 700 competitors out of all regions. Like, yeah, taking 120 from that it's a small chunk, right? That's fine. But
I mean,
to say that the 700 were like the people that were actually trying to go to SDC, right? Because we say go register just to register. Like,
yes,
but
I mean, 100 I'm not even mad at the number, right? Like 128 people is a lot of people to have to deal with in one weekend. It's probably too much. Like I've pointed to that too. Like, it's just, that's a lot going on in one weekend. I'm fine with the cap. Just the way that they're doing it is saying, hey, there might be a cap that we have to use. Not sure what the rules will be or how we'll decide that, but whatever. So it's like, man, everyone, I mean, we're what? 2 months out? 3 months out?
One to the competition?
Yeah.
2 months.
1 month. 2 months.
2 months.
So people have already booked flights and hotels and stuff.
Yep. So
yeah.
With this, we don't know a lot. Thanks, Charlie, for pointing that out, because it's good to know and it's good to be alert.
Yeah.
While being alert,
Nuclear bomb of a topic for the podcast, for
sure. I will let everybody know that last year registration was like 100. How much was registration, DJ? It was like 110, 115.
Dude. I don't even remember because there's 2 different options.
One with a shirt, one without.
Yeah, but I don't recall. It was probably close to that because I'm pretty sure I did the one without shirt.
Lance says 125. So if you want to go
up,
we'll expect that to either stay the same or go up, right? So expect you're going to pay a big entry for this competition.
And Judd is saying, Steve has been quoted as saying to register as soon as it opens, which is scary.
Leans more towards first come, first serve.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'm not a big fan. I can't say that. I'm not a big fan.
I mean,
not at all.
Live and learn, right?
It's not the way to do it. I mean, I've said so much this year about there being a cap in 2025, and I'm fine with it. It's just announcing it Yeah, exactly what Adam is saying. Announcing it 2 months out is not the way to go, in my opinion.
Christian, do you have any thoughts or feelings about this?
I mean, I'm on par with Logan. I mean, if they're doing that, they have to have some kind of structure on how they're gonna, the usual competitors will have to have some kind of priority to see if they're gonna come or not, and then after that, everyone else. That's my thought.
Yeah. So hopefully there's a little bit more clarification on this soon to come. If you do have any insight or any information, post it in the Discord because that'll help everybody.
Or if someone's listening, you do have the priorities who won the overall, then have your podiums, and then whatever, whoever didn't qualify technically, then have that section as like okay, now we have X amount of drivers that can be registered because, these slots are already filled up for podium winners and overall winners. So, I mean, I hope they get to something.
Right. We'll find out soon enough, right? Hope. Because if they were going on qualifications of like what you done in your series, that just makes way more work for them. Like at the end of the day, because they're already processing like pictures, they're already processing entries and names and whatnot. Now they have to go in and look at the actual digipodium, how many were you at, and take all of those numbers, right? That's a lot of work.
Well, if it's already all sent out to them, couldn't they just like put anything like into like a blank on the document that you would use?
Well,
and it just auto generates.
I guess that in that sense, it would come down to Jake or whoever's managing the SDC.
It's Jake.
Yeah. So that puts a lot more pressure on him instead of last year. He was just able to submit like who won, right? And I think this year he's completely in charge of like, this is your final like podium placers.
Yeah, he has to put in all the scores basically.
Yeah, and then if he has to go back to all of the different series competitions and be like, he was here, and like put it into a spreadsheet, would be absolutely annoying.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff, we should have all that, like the final score tally for everyone, but yeah, it's just Jake, are you as far as submitting scores to Super G for our region, what all do you do? Is it just like podium or is it the full score? We'll see what he says. Like
last year he had to submit at every competition. This year I think it stays all with us, and then he'll submit the final, like who are well, they've been
updating the points on the website, so I think he's submitting like the full everyone's scores every round.
Gotcha.
And then if it's in that case where if he's just sending podium winners, at that point it's then Super G has some kind of software or something that says, hey, this person at podium's registered for the event, boom, save slot.
Yeah, I doubt they'll be that advanced, judging by what I've seen from them in general as far as technology goes.
Oh yeah, no. But I mean, I'm just.
There you go. Yeah, everyone's scores are uploaded no matter where you finish. If you get a 0 or if you win, you get a score.
I will say that data validation in Excel or Google Sheets is always picky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see where like if you did a typo in your entry name or something like that, then it'd get royally messed up.
I want to say that I'm not terribly worried about my own position. Like I'm gonna be able probably to get a spot. It's just like all the people that are like around the fringe of the 128. Like it's gonna be a really weird to sort all that out. Like when you're judging between, because they're gonna have probably like, I mean, there's 700 people in the SDC series, so you're gonna have at you know, between 127 and 129, you're gonna have like 40 people that all could make an argument for deserving that spot, right?
Don't forget though, because like last year, even though that there was said region, right, there were entire regions that basically dropped out and just didn't do and hold competitions. They just didn't.
Yes, there were regions where nobody showed up, but I mean, like we said, expecting the event to only grow by 9 drivers, I think, is a little naive, right?
Well, or the argument of understanding like we need less competitors and then doing kind of.
Yeah, but that's not how they're framing it. They're framing it as if, like, literally the post says, like, we're limiting it to 128, and we don't even think we'll need to do that. Which is, like I said,
We'll
you don't
find
think
out.
your event's going to grow by 9 people? That seems a little weird.
We'll find out.
Especially considering all of the, like, international promotion they're doing.
Jake says, in my opinion, top 3 guys from each region should get an automatic registration, provided they can make it to finals. Yeah. And that
I would probably argue for even more than that, like have slots for judges and for people that helped with the events and stuff too.
Well, I would say like there's no question about it, right? Like these are the people that kind of get the golden ticket to go to the finals, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean everyone that in every region, to an extent, like obviously we can't be like 50 people helped us put on this event, but like Adam, your spot should be locked in. Judd's spot should be locked in. All of our judges, Elliot and Damien, their spot should be locked in. Obviously, yeah, a certain number of our finishing order should be locked in.
Mm-hmm. Could you imagine getting points for judging?
They're going to have to do that. They're going to have to figure that out because, like I said, you can't really, some of the stuff you can't really compare. It's apples to oranges, right? Like people that deserve to be there are going to want to go there, but they don't necessarily have points on the board to show. So like that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you, it's so difficult to put a cap on it without defining how you qualify.
Yeah.
I mean, they've only defined, they have defined how you qualify, but the whole point is that like there's more to it, and they'll meet that cap. Like people will qualify and they'll be over the cap. I can't,
Lance.
Yeah. So
in my opinion,
that's inevitable. Inevitably, that will be impossible, right? Because like the sport will grow, and they only have so much space. Like we can't have a 400 person event and try to do all that.
Sure, we can. We just need more people to do it.
Yeah, we need a football stadium.
Like,
we could.
Could you imagine that though? Like if we were big enough to like rent out an entire venue, yeah,
that would be sick.
Divide it into 4 different tracks.
Yeah, then we can have like 20,000 people. It'd be fine.
Watching little toy cars drift and battle it out. That is a great imaginative scene.
That would be sick. That would be the dream. I mean, I would be like a mid-tier celebrity at that point.
So Lance says, in my opinion, anyone that makes it down there deserves to be there. Yeah, because it is a travel. It is, yeah.
Adam, I really appreciate the local knowledge with that reference.
Yeah, man. Moda Center would be sick.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe now we could probably get more people than the Blazers. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh.
Do you guys completely off of RC Drift? What's the sports scene in Puerto Rico? Do you guys follow like NBA, NFL at all, or mostly soccer, football?
No, here I would say they're a big fan of NBA and baseball. MLB. Yeah, those two are the biggest, I would say.
NBA and baseball.
Yeah, they're pretty hardcore fans.
Is there specific teams that are followed, or is it just kind of like a general fan?
I would say the classic, like the Lakers.
Okay.
Boston from MLB.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's not like you guys aren't like Marlins fans or anything like that.
I mean, I don't know much about MLB. I know a little about NBA, and I follow it a little bit. But yeah, there should be a fan of every single team on MLB here.
Yeah, cool.
Hey, what's the stadium that has like a lazy river built into it? Like you can just chill and watch the game in an inner tube in water.
In the MLB?
I don't know if it's MLB. I feel like it's more gimmicky than
like
that.
the Diamondbacks have a pool in the outfield. I don't know. I know the Brewers have like a slide.
There's, I'm forgetting what stadium it is, but I think there's a couple where it's like backed up to some waterfront, so people are out there on their kayaks.
Yeah, like the Giants.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is besides RC Drift here.
I was just curious.
Back to the sports talk.
Is there a lot of like soccer, aka football, in Puerto Rico?
No, American football is not.
It's not football.
No, I'm not saying that, but it's not as popular here.
But soccer,
it's a little bit popular, more popular than American football.
Cool.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, the biggest sports here are boxing, and basketball. I would say basketball, baseball, and boxing. Yeah.
I'm seeing Juan. Juan is a Mets fan, so that's good to know. That's weird, but that's good to know.
So I do want to do the tech chat on the chassis here because we haven't done that yet.
Oh yeah, let's go for it.
So just a reminder, if you do find out any information about Super G STC or STC finals and whatnot, post it in the, let's say, just the general chat, because I'm not cool and have one specific for events, because that would be an empty one too. But yeah, post it there so we can all be informed. I'll try to keep an eye out for it too. One thing, Christian, that I've been seeing here is that you're still using stock springs, or are they stock springs?
There are Yokomo's green springs, the progressive ones. For some reason, I don't know if it's the floor that we have. It seems to be the grippiest for me when it comes to the shock. Cool. The piston is also the stock one with 4 holes. Because the new one I think has 3 holes. The one that came with the RD2. And yeah, I'm using 20 CST or 200 CST Yokomo, and all around. And I do have greens on the front and on the back. So the stock on the RD2s are red springs. I didn't like them. I tried them with different oil, and at least on our track, it didn't feel very well.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, our track for some reason doesn't like lightweight, or not lightweight, but light oil, like 10, 15, and it doesn't like that like the bouncing springs, soft spring and soft suspensions. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit harder for getting more grip because it has more imperfection.
Yep.
The floor, the patch is not always touching the floor. So if you have like a softer spring or softer suspension, it's gonna be jumping like all the time. So you need a stiffer suspension to have the patch as much time on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Hey, how long do your tires last, or does it take you to get to this camber profile?
That has been. I'm not sure if those are the ones that I used from the start, but I have been, I have a need to change tire.
So you've just left them on basically.
Yeah, I mean, soon I would have to because they're pretty worn. But if I change the tire, then I will have to readjust the camber because already the tire already like adjusted to the
floor.
camber of the chassis.
Yeah. Like if you're going that route, if you're going full contact patch, then yeah, eventually you don't change the camber. So do you find that to be like the fastest strategy at your tracks? Like when your contact patch is the full width of the tire for the most part?
I think it's half of the patch, because then when you roll in the curves, then you have the entire patch on the wheel. It depends also on the suspension. If you have like what is it called, like the turnbuckles, like I have it, like a high I forgot the name of it, but like roll center, like the roll center.
Yeah.
If it's higher, then that will be better for
you
track.
You definitely have the steep upper link angle, like so on the upright it's high and on the chassis it's low.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's high roll center. So when it goes into a curve,
it keeps the camber from changing too much.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that I changed, because the knuckles on the RD2s are different. They're not like those ones, and they don't go up as much. So I changed those to that knuckle, and it has been better for me.
And I see you have at least 45s on the toe links. I think Jake would advocate for 90s on that bad boy, but it sounds like it already gets plenty of angle. If you're
I haven't
away
tried
those lower arms.
So
I haven't tried the 90s, so I could try them.
So the 90s only come in the 4.3 mil ball studs, so keep that in mind. At the same time, I think the difference between 45s and 90s is just if you want the bragging rights of like full 90-degree lock on both your lead and your trail wheel.
Oh.
Like, I don't think there's a lot to gain from it.
Yeah.
Jake.
There's a phenomenon in this where like it's like once you get, it's like you want as much angle as possible until you get to exactly 90 degrees, because I think when your wheels hit 90 degrees, at least your lead tire hits 90, it kind of completely unbalances your whole car and like unloads the whole chassis.
Yeah.
And
it makes it very difficult
ideal
to recover.
Yeah. It's just like it kind of gets stuck there and there's no force being applied anymore. So
yeah. What you're looking after that when you're 90 degrees is either spin out or just getting understeer, in my opinion.
Yeah, or just having no like authority, because like you're rolling perfectly with everything. There's no pressure, there's no weight on the chassis at that point. It's completely unloaded. It's just not ideal.
We've talked about it before. Like, so there's ways that you can make your chassis fast, and then there's ways to make your car like a safe driving car around the track, right? Too much, Jake is saying too much is definitely a thing and not good. So when we were talking about it, it was the idea of like, yeah, you can use it to save yourself, like in the corner from spinning out, right? There's that. But if you overdrive your car and you're at too much angle, then you're losing speed instantly, right?
Yeah. Once you get to a certain angle, especially if you're like accelerating out of a turn, you're just gonna not go anywhere, because now the difference in forward, like there's like the graph of like how much forward momentum you can generate based on how the rear tires are angled. Like it just falls off a freaking cliff when you get to 90. Like, I mean, it's obviously it's a curve, but like it's like the higher angle you get, the faster that drops. And when you get to 90, it just falls completely off. And you literally at 90 degrees, literally you cannot accelerate at all.
Mm-hmm.
If your rear wheels are at 90 degrees. So
And as far as our competition and like the tracks that we build and compete on, nothing requires that amount of angle. Like, rear
I mean, I
entries,
think
right?
if you're on Super G, for example, if you hit that amount of angle, they can give you a 0, right?
Yeah.
Well,
But it is like kind of what Jake is saying again. It does provide sort of a cushion.
Right.
So there is a situation where you get to that point, and if the chase driver happens to be farther away, you could save your run off of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if it's a chase driver that's very close and you hit that beyond point, they're just going to run into you, and you're probably going to get called for it.
Right.
It's gonna be one of those things. I mean, clearly drivers are doing it, right? And it works. But I think it's definitely one of those things where it's like you need to also learn to drive that style or learn to limit yourself to not go to that point all the time.
Yeah, you have to understand that it is. You have to understand what it's for. It's not there to be sat at, and it's not like this is the angle that I'm going to drift at. It's just like.
Yeah, it's always
there
good to have it there just in case you need to use it, but you don't.
if you can.
You don't want to use it every time.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because
and
if you get into it, it can slow you way the hell down.
and this right here, I've seen the DDSS, and I think the only other steering rack that I've seen this happen with is the Fantasy front end. But you can steer more than 90 degrees on it, and it won't lock up. It won't do anything bad, but it's crazy. Just the amount of sweep that you can get from these steering racks.
Yes. It's the same with or without the 90 degree. It's like your driving mentality is the same. You're still not trying to get to like 87. And then if you mess up a little bit, it will be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But you have to teach yourself that it's not to be used. It's just to save you.
And like coming from a Galm, I think the Galm like stock slide rack as it sits right now is probably like the worst steering system that is on the market right now. Just because it has the least angle, it doesn't have the ability to, and it's flimsy. You can pop out the slide rack just by bending it a little bit. So there's that.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I've seen some steering systems that were a little bit more flimsy lately, but we'll leave them out of it.
Got it.
We'll leave them out of it.
I think I know. Okay.
Hey,
what?
I did buy new parts.
Oh, apparently. So, okay. GRK GS2 is the worst. I don't know. I've never owned one. Apparently, GRK is getting bigger in the States, and there's now a USA rep. Lance or Jake, can you throw that link in the chat so we can
I
make
know
them
a lot
uber
of people
popular?
are getting into GRKs more now all of a sudden.
60 to 65 is a sweet spot.
If you're Charlie. Just kidding. Charlie will be one of our guest drivers at Drift to Death.
Yeah.
Welcoming the boy home. We're flying him out.
On.
So all the Portland guys,
Oh.
Charlie's coming back.
I just got a notification that my DC-10 has shipped. Speaking of which, you guys, I've got Friday and Saturdays. Well, probably not Fridays. I've got a Saturday now.
To build?
Well, so when should I do a live stream, basically? Should I just do it on the stream itself, or should I just
My
do a
weekends
separate
are
thing?
booked until after Drift to Death, so I can't contribute.
Well, no, it'd just be me building. Like, I'll just do top-down view.
I mean, I can't tell you a day that you should do it because I can't watch any of the days.
Or should I do it in segments, like do main chassis, do suspension, do geometry?
I would definitely just do it in a live stream and then cut like videos for YouTube to upload.
So, okay. That, I think I can do that. Well, I know I can do that. It just takes a while.
Chris, I wanted to ask you, kind of a sensitive subject, but how have you guys been doing this season in the hurricanes? I know it's been a little crazy down there.
Yeah. There was actually a storm that was supposedly getting here in, I think it was beginning of July. Thankfully, it didn't came. So, so far we're just aware.
Just kind of dodged everything.
Yeah, I mean
That's good to hear.
So far it's gonna go. Now we're entering like the more active season.
That's what's crazy about this year is they've already had 3 or 4 crazy hurricanes, and now it's like, oh, now the season is actually starting. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, and they're watching something that's building up by, I think, supposedly getting here to next week. I mean, it has probabilities of getting here, but we'll see what happens. It's not a big hurricane or anything for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully it doesn't affect us.
Have you? What were some of the bigger storms that you've experienced?
Oh, 2017. Maria. That's the worst. That would be the worst in decades or centuries, I would say.
Yeah.
I was out without power for
a long time, right?
A couple of months. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Couple of months. Oh.
Yeah, I actually went because my wife had some family members on Maryland, so I went there and keep working because I work remote. So yeah, I was here like for a month and a half, and then went there to keep working. And
you were able to get away from the island a little bit, and
yeah, but I still needed to help my family, like sending generators and things.
Yeah,
because it was pretty hard. We had like the lines for the gas stations were like 5-6 hours, something ridiculous.
My god, that's crazy.
And that's, that was daily because we needed gas for the generators to have power on our home.
And that's all very long.
Yeah, and that's everything that you could hear at nights. Like it wasn't silence at all. You will hear all the motors of the generators all the way, all night.
Yeah,
I know this is like somewhat insensitive, but could you imagine like how some people require like the white noise of a fan going right now, like while you're sleeping?
Yeah, definitely. Some people on the island were sleeping good.
Well, could you imagine? It's like, oh, I can't fall asleep without the sound of a generator going.
Probably.
Yeah,
there's probably.
I mean,
people
most
like
of us,
that.
Most of us are used to that white noise because I would say a good amount of percentage of our of the houses here does not have air conditionings like the U.S. It's there are more houses that have air conditioning because of the heat.
Yeah.
But it's getting worse. But usually that wasn't the case before. And we were used to just having fans on the house, like in the rooms, in the kitchen, everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard for me to compare like myself, like growing up with this my whole life. But there was a summer when I moved to Portland because I moved from Phoenix, which is like 115 in the summer, but it was like air conditioning in the house was a standard thing. It was like you would die if you didn't have it.
Right.
And then I moved to Portland and it was not a thing. And I was like, they were like, oh, you want air conditioning? You got to buy one of those. And it was like the first summer I went was like one of our hotter summers. And it was just like, dude, how do people do this? This is terrible. I hate it. Yeah, we had fans in every window. Like the doors, like if you open the wrong door at the wrong time, it would just slam shut because you have so much airflow going through the house.
Oh yeah. I have that. Yeah. But yeah, it's been okay this last couple of years.
That's good.
7 years.
I know the Maria one was big. Like that was like the whole island was kind of devastated by that. So
yeah, it was pretty awful.
So on the brighter side of things, if you've made it this far, go ahead and like, subscribe, do the sharing of all that social media stuff for YouTube and all that fun stuff. Thanks for being here. I do think that we are a little bit more active in the chat on Thursday nights, which is kind of
Definitely
more of our goal than anything else. Trying to be more out there for you all.
Can we can we shout out some of the can you shout out for us like some of the bigger names from the Puerto Rican scene, like the track owners and stuff? Maybe we can follow them on Instagram and things.
Yeah, the owner of the track, which is Hilton. It's Instagram. I think it's Hilton RC Westside drftaholic. I think.
Can you spell that?
Yeah. Let me. I can put it in the chat.
There you go. Put it in the chat. I just want to get these guys some attention because it's
Yeah, sure.
I would love for the Puerto Rico scene to grow as much as possible.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Let me do that real quick.
Sod. If you're looking at Westside Driftaholics, the I is missing intentionally, so it is what it is.
Yeah, it's not a typo.
Oh, I got one here. It's Hilton. Yeah, there we go.
Underscore RC underscore.
Yeah. I'll put that.
Yeah. There's another.
What's the
one
other
that
track?
The other track. Let's see if they have an Instagram. I think. Let's see. Yeah, it's Underground Circuit RC Drift PR. A little bit long name, but I think it should be good.
There we go. I got it. I like that name because that's very close to our name. I'm all about
Yeah,
it.
it is. Yeah.
That's sick.
So, if you
Oh,
want
yeah.
like the latest update on the other track, it's the same name, but on Facebook, they have posted more things.
Okay, I got you.
Because I'm seeing it on Instagram, but it doesn't have like any pictures of the new track that I mentioned
Gotcha.
on the basketball court.
Yeah.
Dude,
So yeah, and I have the other one, which is the other person that has helped me the more, and I have learned everything that I know with him, is Chris. Same name as me, so Christian, and the Instagram is Chris RC Drift Garage. So
Yeah.
that's the main competitors there.
And then yours.
Mine says
West Side.
yeah, the Westside Drifthaholic.
Yeah.
I do have
put
another
that,
Instagram,
dude.
but I use that more for photos and
Yeah.
car pictures.
Bam. Follow all those people. There's a lot of
Yeah,
good stuff coming out of there. The tracks are really cool.
I really wanted to show like a video on Discord of one of the runs of one of the competitions.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can do that real quick.
You could post it in, we have the video channel, which is Top RC Drift Videos. We got time for watch that.
that channel has failed.
Yeah, fair enough.
At least I haven't done anything with it.
Yeah.
Well, more so everyone. So okay, the problem is that if you're posting Instagram videos, like they expire and I can't see them after a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And then there's like a file limitation of like 25 megabytes.
Yeah, a lot of people have the limit. They don't have.
My Nitro subscription that I got last month has finally run out.
I'll gift another one to the server maybe.
No, the server doesn't need it.
Sorry, I'm looking for the video.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
So just a reminder, everybody, August 23rd to the 25th, if you are in the PDX area, come by, have fun drifting with all of us nerds.
Win some stuff. There will be, like I said, there will be just simply buying, the entry fee will get you at least some amount of raffle tickets. So just showing up, you'll get a chance to win some really cool prizes.
Are there any ways to gain raffle tickets?
We haven't ironed all that out yet, but most likely, yes. I think basically entry fee will get you a certain amount, and then also paid, you can get more. I'm kind of working maybe on like a t-shirt situation for the event. Most likely it'll be like a pre-order where if you want an event shirt, you can get one, but it's going to be afterwards. I need to collect sizes and names and everything.
Is it gonna have a front logo and a back logo, or just a front?
Yeah, I can do a front and a back.
Just do a front. I hate back logos.
Probably just do a front, make it a little easier, but it's something I would be making it myself here. So,
gotcha.
I am trying to just pose one on the topics and ideas. I don't know if that's good. Sending. Hopefully, Discord allows me.
There we go. I see it.
Okay, let me see if I can.
That's me and Chris, the other Chris.
Chris and Chris.
Yeah, sand body, different liveries. Liveries from West Side and the livery from the Underground.
Oh, cool. So it's like both tracks kind of being represented.
Right. I spun out on that one, so but it's a good one.
Yeah. Just give Adam a second. Get the old scene brought up.
Yeah, I don't remember how I did this last time. Let me do it this way.
On your surface, would you consider that, having a harder suspension or has more grip, or is it the opposite way? Like,
man, everybody's all over the place with that. I want to say,
I think everything.
My setup is a little stiffer. And I think a lot of people would consider me one of the faster people at the track, but some of the other fastest people at the track have pretty soft setups. So it's really hard to say one way or another. I think for myself, the biggest thing on the suspension is just ensuring that the rear isn't like bouncing off the ground when you get on the throttle. So
right.
When I do hit boost, if the rear just kind of plants and doesn't come back up, then I'm happy. If it does anything, if it plants and then comes up a little bit, then I'm gonna soften it up a bit. Basically, that's pretty much it.
Okay. And what springs do you have?
Oh man, I don't know exactly which ones they are. There's like a Yokomo spring set, and I have the stiffest springs that came out of that set. I don't know what the rate is or anything.
Okay.
But it's on the stiffer end of the spectrum, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And I'm like with that, I'm able, like, I'm very low preload, so I have a lot of room for adjustment on that.
When you do the shocks, you worry about the rebounds on the shocks, or?
Yeah, so that's kind of part of why my springs are so stiff. Is we got the video going, but maybe we can get that in a bigger screen at some point. But
yeah, hold on.
So I have basically a ghetto way of limiting the rebound of the shock a little bit. Is just basically the caps are kind of loose, and so they only rebound like just a little bit. I know a lot of people just looking at like the D style chat the last couple of days, they've all started drilling holes so that the upper cavity is completely vented, so you have no rebound whatsoever, and they all like that. But I think that makes a lot of sense. Like, it kind of going fully vented on the top. It goes from it's just less. Isolates some of the things that you tune, right? So you then have just damping rate. If you're fully vented in the top, you have just damping rate, and then you have spring rate versus any other setup. Especially if you're fully sealed on your shocks, now you're like, you have to tune the bladder, you have to tune the oil, you have to tune the springs to have the rebound and damping rate that you want. So it's kind of weird to me, the way that RC shocks tend to work. I get it because it's like they're dealing with so little weight that it's hard to have such light springs and such light damping rate, but I don't know. I'm pretty happy with my setup.
I usually, when it comes to rebound, I just do little rebound on the backside and then more on the front.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think obviously the front is going to see less compression in general than the rear. So I think the biggest thing for people is just avoiding the rebound of when you squat. When you really get on it, you don't want your chassis to like kind of hit the bottom of the stroke and then bounce back up. That's the biggest thing I can say.
So Jake said to peep the picks, just picks. These are the tires that are going to be raffled off.
Yeah. Some tires and wheels that
my bad.
and maybe a wing that Jake is providing for the raffle.
For wing brake.
From Wing Brake Circuit. Garage Wing Brake is Jake's home track in his garage. Pretty good track. It's a little tight, but it does the job.
Okay, so let's come back to here.
Check out this video.
Yep.
Here we go.
Here we go.
So we got a battle from, I would say it's a Puerto Rico East-West battle. Which car is yours?
He's a yellow.
Mine is
Yellow.
Yeah. The white one is one of our members as well. That he has the delivery from the underground as well.
Got you.
So,
Okay.
but he's more of on our team. More, its location is more nearby our track.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Yep, just a little lock-up spin there. No big deal.
Yeah,
It happens.
that's the reason why I just stopped around.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a tight track. It's smaller, but it's not like it's not outside of what we've seen here for sure.
Right. I mean, it's bigger than what we had before. And it's. I mean, I'm pretty content with what we
for sure.
For sure.
I
mean, that's I mean, your layout is a little more tighter, but I mean, it's not terribly different in size. I would say from like a rolling garage even, or like a BPT. So maybe a little smaller.
On video, it doesn't show up, but if you go there, you will notice that the floor is not 100% level, so it has some inclination to the downside of the. And then when you're coming, if you're doing lap, when you're coming out of that last zone, right there, when you're going up into the straight, it's there. That's where the faster car shows up.
Takes off. Yeah.
I
like that though. I like a little bit of bumpiness and irregularities on the surface. Every little bump that we have at PDX, there's only a few of them, but those are like watching my car. That's my favorite point. It's like, oh yeah, a little bit of undulation and you feel the traction build on the bump. I would say obviously our sport needs a lot more elevation change. For sure.
Yeah, I was able to go into street break on Florida for the AE86 last year, and they do have a bump there, and it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, Adam, it's hard 9.
Right. Oh, Josh, why is bottom right Logan so quiet? I changed the name, you guys. Come on.
That's DJ, baby.
That is the spleen machine
That's the
himself.
Spleen machine, dude. That's how he rolls.
Apparently, we need to like make you talk more some way somehow, or
I think
maybe
he's
just
making a joke that he has my name and my chip on him, and he's being quiet for the first time.
for the first time.
Logan is being quiet.
Oh, dang it! I thought I changed it. Ah, no
Yeah, I
one
got
said
the dog.
anything.
Josh is like, man, Logan usually talks way too much.
Oh, so there are two Logans.
Apparently,
There's not. No.
There. Oh, you know what? It's because I didn't save it. That was the whole
There we
thing.
go.
Well, okay. DJ's DJ now. Anyways, so yeah, it's hard 9. It is 9. It's past 9.
Yeah, this is the worst we've ever violated. We got to go, boys.
Thanks for being here. We will be here next
Definitely
week
thanks.
with who is it next week? Is it
Oh, it's gonna be.
it's our first like kind of group thing.
So we will, unfortunately, probably lose. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna lose DJ, but we're gonna gain Vittorio and Shane.
Yep. Then the week after that is Alex and Xavier.
Yeah.
And the week after
Double
that
episode.
will be the mini scale series.
Yeah, with Nikki.
Yep. So that'll be a fun one too.
So congrats to DJ. You got 2 weeks off, bud.
Let's go. I can finally get some RC stuff done.
Yeah.
Need to paint this
Get some
body.
work done, dude.
Dude,
Yeah, we better come back in a couple weeks, and that better be painted, dude. I swear.
Right? No
painted and
doubt.
mounted. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
All right. With that, I'm pressing the button. Thank y'all for coming and hanging out with ya. It's always, well, hanging out with us. Yeah, that thing. And we're pressing the button. Later.
See ya.
Don't leave yet, Chris.
Hang out.